What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So, President Biden is at the UN right now, and Russia says to its citizens, be more like North Koreans. Follow the line, stay in line, and don't question anything. Yeah. The country's propagandists have begun extolling the virtues of the Hermit Kingdom's Spartan lifestyle. If you watched my recent video where we showed the Russian state TV broadcast, one of the Russians there, Sergei Mykolaiv, described Kim Jong-un as the North Korean president as a dude with a square head whose superpower is being unpredictable. He argued that the people of North Korea are impervious to Western pressure because of their Spartan lifestyle. Quote, yes, life in North Korea is no picnic, but it isn't as bad as Americans portray it. American sanctions are scary only to those who have been on the hook to begin with. Those who have bank accounts over their parallel lives in the West. What can you forbid to North Koreans? To drink Coca-Cola? They don't have it anyway. To watch Hollywood movies? They don't have them anyway. You'll turn off their internet? They don't have internet anyway. Yeah. You won't import iPhones? They don't have them anyway. You will forbid them to travel to Europe and America? They aren't traveling anyway. There's no way to get them. They're not allowed to leave the country, right? Imagine that. Basically, they have, what do they have? Nothing. They said the low living standards are both weakness and the strength of North Korea. You can't do to them what you could do to the people and the elites in the post-Soviet space that got hooked on what you have to offer. Elites in the post-Soviet space got used to eating good food. Well, imagine that, eating good food is, I guess, a luxury, and having sweet dreams to keep their money in the banks. But these people don't need anything. Well, maybe they do need it, but they don't have anything. So he's saying the Russian elites are saying that Russians should be more like North Koreans. They shouldn't have anything. And they shouldn't question anything. Under the new war, the new Russian-Ukrainian war, as they invade Ukraine and try to take everything from Ukraine, bomb them, bomb their maternity wards, bomb their hospitals, try to take their land, take their people, that Russia should do the same now. They shouldn't have anything. They shouldn't want anything. They should be more like North Korea, who doesn't have internet, who can't even leave the country. That Russians should be more like North Koreans. Don't have anything, don't want anything, no internet, can't see what's going on in the rest of the world. That's how they should be as well, as they go to invade another country and take over their land, their people, their resources, and anything they want. My, what a life that sounds like. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in that. And remember, don't have good food either. So basically, have nothing and like it. What does that remind you of? You guys can, this is what Russia is saying that the Russian people should be more like. They're admiring this. They're saying this is good for their people. Unbelievable, right? Yeah. This also comes as we're getting more to the story in the Cuba-Russia cracks in the alliance. Remember, Cuba has long time been a somewhat ally to Russia, but now Cuba's fighting back a little bit here. We had the recent story of Cuba arresting 17 people for trafficking young men to fight for Russia in Ukraine, for misleading men to go there and fight in Ukraine. Now, recent story here coming out today, a Cuban teenager was offered a job doing, quote, construction work in Russia which was considered a well-paying job for a Cuban teenager. Instead, when he went to Russia, because Cubans can actually go to Russia kind of freely with their travel restrictions slash unrestrictions, with the way that their passports and stuff work. Instead, he was sent to fight on the front lines of Ukraine when he got there, instead of doing construction work, which is what the job was promised. Yeah, a Cuban teenager, 19 years old, unwittingly found himself on the front lines of the war in Ukraine after accepting a job offer he received on WhatsApp to do construction work for the Russian military. Alex Vegas Diaz, 19 years old, and a friend were taken to a military base, so two of them, outfitted with weapons and then sent to fight. Time reported after reviewing social media footage posted by Vegas Diaz. In one of the viral videos Time cited, dated August 31st, Vegas Diaz could be seen in a Russian hospital recovering from an unspecified illness, saying he was due to be sent back to the front upon his recovery. From his hospital bed, he pleaded, "Help get us out of here." Time reported, "What is happening in Ukraine is ugly. To see people with their heads open before you, to see how people are getting killed, feel the bombs falling next to you." Quote. In another video cited by Time, Vegas Diaz said, "There are dead Cubans, there are missing Cubans, and this is not going to end until the war is over." Which at this point, probably a long, long time. He added, quote, "We know that Cuba is aware, and our advice to Cubans is not to come here. This is the craziest thing crazy. Don't do it." Time reported that Vegas Diaz is becoming part of a large operation that openly recruited hundreds of Cubans to join the Russian army to fight in Ukraine. Time magazine said the recruitment effort involved advertisements for job contracts with the Ministry of Defense in Russia that began to appear on Cuban Facebook groups in June. Obviously misleading them, as we're finding out, as Cuba has arrested at least 17 people for misleading Cuban citizens in this, and obviously sending Cuban citizens over there to die or be severely harmed. And this is literally coming from Cuban authorities and Cuban government as they're arresting men for misleading their citizens. Okay? The recruits said they were offered 204,000 rubles, or only $2,120 to sign up, which to us sounds like not a lot of money at all. Average monthly salaries in Cuba are dramatically low, making it enticing for Cubans, which is kind of, shut off from a lot of the rest of the world. Time magazine reviewed the job contracts, which is said required a 1-year commitment, but came with an enlistment fee and a payout for the families of recruits if they were KIA, killed in action. Oh, wow, that will really help them as if they're dead, right? Wow. So they're literally writing this in the contracts. If you're killed, doing construction work, right? Yeah, imagine that. The exact number of Cubans recruited through this initiative remains uncertain, with estimates provided to Time ranging from hundreds to more than 1,000 already. Though Cuba's foreign ministry described the recruitment effort as human trafficking network. Wow. 4 Cuban experts and former U.S. officials expressed skepticism to Time. They told Time that the Cuban government, a long-standing ally of Russia, might be using such language to maintain the appearance of a neutral stance in the Ukraine conflict. Interesting. Regardless of the nature or provenance of the recruitment drive, there is concern in the U.S. that recruits such as Vegas Diaz may have been deceived into accepting job offers. Yeah, you think? The State Department said, quote, "We are deeply concerned that young Cubans may have been deceived and recruited to fight for Russia in its brutal, full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and we continue to monitor the situation closely." Yeah, honestly, I think we could see this from North Koreans next as well. Who knows what they would even tell North Koreans? Are these North Korean men even going to know what they're signing up for? They're going to literally sign up to go there and die. I mean, you sign up to go there and die. Is that worth anything? And then you also got to remember here that to end this war, Russia says nothing will end this war unless we take over Ukraine's land, their people, their resources. The people that live there would then become Russian citizens. If you become a Russian citizen, you will then have to fight for Russia. If you're between 18 and 30, they have a draft where they make it mandatory to then fight for Russia. So then they would be enlisted into Russia's army, where Russia will then go and make them fight their wars. Okay? So imagine that. So then, literally within the next year, they can go and then fight against Ukraine in the next war, because we know that Russia's not going to stop. So you guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here on everything happening here on a daily basis. Yeah, make sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell icon. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for liking, and please share these videos on Facebook, Twitter, and or messages. Anybody that needs to hear this. Click here to see the massive NATO warning that the NATO chief just sent out. Or you can see what the Fed is doing here within 24 hours. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.